The Prophet Idris used the U.S. Prophet Idris was a descendant of Kibble and Iklimah, son and daughter of the Prophet Adam. As to his descendants was this divine calling to the truth. The Prophet Idris was the first to receive revelation through the Archangel Gabriel when he was 82 years old. No information on the exact location of Idris' life. Hermes al-Haramisa assigned to the moral edification of this Kibble's posterity. Some refer to the region of Munaf, Egypt, but the Adapula that calls Babylonia. Certainly Idris, who from childhood had learned the science of the Prophet Sayyid, son of Adam, had passed down prophetic revelation to him. And tell High Muhammad to them, the story, Idris, the one in the Koran. Truly he was a very justified man and a prophet. And we have elevated it to a high dignity. QS. Maryam, 56-57. Idris, according to the history and Hadith Buhari, was his grandfather Noah, as which means the Prophet Idris was the 6th generation of Adam, remembering Noah himself is the 10th descendant of Adam. As the Prophet surplus U.S. Idris, the U.S. Prophet Idris had some adjunctions, aka miracles from the Lord. First of all, he's the first human to read and write with a pen. It was to agree to God that God gave 30 separate aliases such as the Lord's sheets of doctrine, with instructions to deliver to his people. Second, the Prophet Idris was given a variety of knowledge from storytelling of horses, astrology, falak, canoe. The Prophet Noah of the United States. Noah was the son of Lamik bin matta sybin Idris. According to the Quran, the age of Noah was 950 years, QS. Ankabuut, 14. After the Prophet Idris passed away, people's behavior became increasingly distorted. So did the Noah, who at the time worshipped idols. The Quran mentions this in verse 23 sura. They say, "Thou shalt not forsake thy gods, and thou shalt not forsake Huud, suwa, yaghuts, and nasr." Furthermore, Noah's people were notoriously despotic and abusive. Glory and wealth make them proud. A measure of worth and worth is measured. Consequently, the poor were looked down on. Slaves are treated like animals. Seeing that situation, God told Noah to take them on the right path. With his patience, the Prophet Noah conveyed God's teachings to a Muslim society. The Prophet Noah said to his people, "For a certainty I warn you of the torture of God, and I explain to you the way of salvation. So worship God alone, and you must not reconcile him with anything. For I am worried that if you worship but him, or clothe him with another, he will torture you on the judgment day with the most grievous torments." QS. Huud, 25-26. As it turned out, Noah's preaching was not well received. Instead, they mocked and insulted the Prophet Noah. They also looked down on the poor Prophet Noah and his followers.